Greetings, listeners, and welcome to The Spiritual Experience, a show where we share stories of life, love, and redemption for all of humanity on Earth. So sit back and enjoy. Try to identify with the speakers and not compare. Don't forget to subscribe on all podcast platforms. I'm your host, Jay Lewis, and here we go. Yo, what's up? Spiritual Experience, we are back. Another delightful day, another delightful life. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed. My boy Mike, he had a great story. It dropped on Friday. And yeah, man, it's a lot of emotional stuff going on. It's Pride Month. Yeah, so it's Pride Month. There's Juneteenth. This weekend is the Puerto Rican Day Parade and festivals in New York City, which is where we are, capital of the earth. Hang on. Yep. Sunday afternoon, sitting in the shop. I got to do a couple things. Then I'm going to run to the gym. Just came out of the men's meeting, the Greenwood Men's, which is like really it's a treat to even have back. It was one of the meetings that really got me going, when I was a younger person and I was trying to change my life and I was just entering recovery. Being able to be around other men was a very important thing for me. There's a lot of people would say, like in a very, they would say like in a very jokingly but serious way of how intense that meeting was. They'd be like, it's the what did I say, the most sensitive meeting at Greenwood. Meanwhile, whatever, we have like 20 meetings a week or something, or 30 meetings a week. I don't know. We used to have so many. Because like it was a place where two things were happening. There's like an insane amount of ball busting and camaraderie. Is that the term? Camaraderie? Yeah. There's a lot of that in that meeting. And then there's a lot of real shit. A lot of real shit going on. And that's a place where you can talk about that kind of stuff. Not just like a meeting where you're bitching about your significant other. Doesn't matter the gender, but it was a place where you can learn how to get real and get real advice from like other men like in your life. It's so difficult, as a man to like walk this earth, and everybody has their own difficulties, including women. Yes, I get it, but like men, it's like the assumption of responsibility is a lot of times has no limits. It's like boundless. And no matter what you do, like you can't even really be like, even when you're right, it don't matter. You still gotta, if you're going to be the quote unquote man of the house or the man of the family or like whatever, there's like responsibilities that fall on your shoulders. And the pressure is immense. The pressure is immense. It's a lot. And, no wonder why, they always have that saying, what is it, like happy wife, happy life. Because the pressure of, doing this kind of, basically the pressure of always being wrong and always being accountable is really, it's a lot. And, so after a while you surrender to that. Like you could say, oh, I want to be progressive and we're going to, share. What the fuck are you going to share? Like in theory, you're going to share some stuff. But when something goes wrong, it's your job as a man to go and make something happen or to go and fix it or whatever. You know, I was talking about this with my cousin. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, like, what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live a life that, you know, every time your significant other, your wife or your girlfriend, whatever, every time that she says something, you know, a little bit stupid to you, if you interact with that, it's like the machine won't shut off. And even still, you know, you want, what do we really want? We want like peace and harmony. And at what cost? And a little bit at a time, what they do is they make this the entry fee, it goes up like inflation. No, it goes up. Over time, you're like, all right, I guess I'm willing to do this. So that way she'll shut the fuck up. And then I'll have and I'll just have a little bit of peace of mind, you know? And then once in a while you try to put your foot down and you think that you're like, quote unquote, standing up for yourself, right? But then what happens? You end up with the short end of the stick anyway, so you might as well just eat your shit sandwich and, yeah, and just be like, dude, what the hell? What am I doing to myself? What am I signing up for? You know, and that's why guys have like these midlife crises, is because that kind of stuff happens. It means like some woman or partner, even if I don't know that many, I know a lot of gay guys, but I don't know them that intimately, you know. But like a lot of times, like, you know, a woman over time will just whittle a man's self-esteem down to like a nub. And then one day the line gets crossed and the guy doesn't even know that he crossed it. He doesn't even know. He wakes up one day, he's like, oh my God, I'm across the line. And then he starts to do these calculations. Okay, well, what do I do? Right? What do I do? How much is it going to cost me for my freedom? What's the price? You know, what is the price? And you're just like, you're praying that the math fucking adds up, right? How old are your kids? If you don't have any kids, then it's like, whoosh, I can just split, you know, I can get out of here. I'll pay some alimony, whatever. And if you're not married, then you're just like, whoa, you know, I need to, I can just start over. And starting over is not hard. It's not easy. I mean, like, I'm not willing to really try and learn how to get to know somebody else the way that I know my woman now. Like, that's like if I didn't, you know, if something would happen and we would not be together, then long-term relationships would be out the window for me. I would still, you know, love and take care of my kids. It's, you know, that's just who I am. But, like, I don't know if I'd have another 10-year fucking joint. Jesus, man. You know? It's like you get wrestled into submission. You know? I was reading this thing in the Post. I don't normally read the Post because it's a fucking National Enquirer of magazines. I'm going to put you guys on hold for 1 second because, like, the temperature is getting warm in here and I have to put the air on. Otherwise, I'm going to start stinking up the place. Stand by, gentle people. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was getting way too uncomfortable and I'm, you know, I don't like being uncomfortable. Fuck that. So, back to the Post, right? This was the article. The article was saying, let me move this forward so that way I can fucking do what I got to do. It says, women left stunned after boyfriend refuses to pay for her half of flight. Blah, 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 blah. The internet is buzzing. There's a post on Reddit. A 24-year-old girl asked if she was being unreasonable to expect her 25-year-old partner to help out with her part of her plane ticket. The woman explained that her boyfriend of 3 years, I mean, she's 24. She's been with this guy since she's 21. Jeez, that's young, bro, to be that committed. It's crazy. The woman explained her boyfriend of 3 years had invited her along to his brother's party, but his boss would be paying the cost of the flight on a more expensive airline. I don't know how the boss and the brother and whatever is involved, but this is, right away, the story sounds fishy, right? Right away, right? All right. So sure, when I asked about me, he said that I could catch that flight too. That flight is $300 as opposed to $112 on a cheaper airline. My boyfriend made it clear that he would not fly with me on the cheaper airline or help contribute to the extra $190 that would make us fly together. Instead, he expects me to choose, pay the extra money myself or fly alone and find my own way to his brother's house in a city I am not familiar with. She also said that her boyfriend makes 3 times her salary, but also recently won $5,000. She said, I was excited to go and can justify $112, but $300 seems excessive to pay an extra $190 when my boyfriend travels for free. I do not expect him to pay for my flight or the entire $190, but just $90 to help me out. I never expected nor even accepted my boyfriend paying for anything for me ever, so this is not a common occurrence. Yeah, like, at that age, first off, I'm questioning the validity of this girl's statement, right? She's been with a guy for freaking 3 years and he never pays for anything? Bro, I've never not paid for almost everything. Never, ever. Right? I think that's like part of, I don't know, part of my DNA. My dad always took good care of my mom, you know? And, you know, the men around me that were of any substance would belittle other men who are living off of their women. So that's what's crazy to me. So, like, I would tell this girl, like, dude, if this is a true story and this is what's really going on, you need to leave this guy. Because he's not a fucking man, bro. He's a little boy. And at 25, you should still be a little boy. But, you know, I mean, come on, man. Like, what? It's like so crazy. But, you know, in the whole new Justice for Johnny world, right? Men are supposed to be getting their due, I guess, you know? I don't know. I don't know if I've, yeah. I don't know. Like, I've always, I don't have to be the breadwinner. That's not where, like, I have to purposefully pursue a partner that doesn't make any money. You know, even though subconsciously, maybe that might have been the case at one point or another in my life, you know, and that's something that I explored with my therapist and with my friends in recovery and with my sponsors, is that, like, you know, do you need that validation of being able to take care of somebody else in order for you to feel better? You know? Is that part of the thing? And I guess that goes for men and for women, you know? But I believe in a lot of those, like, traditional roles. I do. But then if you're subscribing to some of those traditional roles where, like, okay, we're not going to split everything 50-50, what else comes with that? Like the BMW, the bitchin', moanin', whining, right? No, like, you know, the girl busting your balls, man, about fucking, you know, how you behave and what kind of language you use and some of your stupid friends and, like, all, like, kind of belittling your personal life. That's what they do, bro. They, like, belittle it. Like, I'm like, bro, you picked me knowing that I was a little bit of a caveman. And then you make fun of the drawings I make on the cave wall or whatever, however that can be siphoned. I was like, dude, that's, like, a little bit abusive. It's almost like, you know, if the guy picks the girl, I guess, that she don't make the money, She don't really make any money. And then he's telling her like, yo, listen, if you can't pay your way, then, yeah, then you can't go. And I never really subscribed to that. I don't think I've ever asked somebody to pay for a plane ticket or something, or like, I remember one time my boy tried to set me up with his wife's friend, right? And she was cool. Yeah, she was cool, but she just wasn't my, she wasn't my cup of tea in the sense that she was like proper and not like look, I tell you all the time, my woman is like a lady, but this girl was like pretentious proper. You want to use that term, right? And whatever, went to go eat in the city. And I forgot what we had, some food. And she was like, I don't know, she was being like a stickler for the time. I was like, dude, we had some food. And I was like, all right, after the food, we can just go for a walk or chill or whatever for like an hour. She was like, I have to be home by this time. I have to be home by this. And I'm like, bro, but aren't you fucking like an adult? Like, what do you mean? And I wasn't trying to keep her. I'm saying like another hour or whatever. But yeah, she was like being a little bit of a yenta about that. Right. So anyway, so we eat and we're talking. Conversation's okay. I mean, it's nothing that I can look back upon with a lot of fondness or whatever. Like, I don't remember. But like, I was like, okay, like this girl. Oh, sorry. I hit the button. But that was funny. I'll do that again. All right. Yeah. So this girl, she was like, okay. She was okay. Right. And, yeah. And then the bill comes. Right. Now, I would never ask any woman that I'm with, friends or not, to pay for a meal. I don't know what that makes me, to be honest. I have no idea what that makes me. But I would never ask. No way. I get uncomfortable with those kinds of situations. Especially we're just meeting each other, whatever. So, now it's different if we're doing things together. Like if we have a home together and we're trying to make shit happen together and all of these other things, then yeah, if you want to pony up some fucking bread, I'm in, and it's actually very much appreciated if we do that, if we work together. And that at that point, if we work together, But anyway, the bill comes and bro, this girl doesn't even reach at all. Doesn't even reach for the freaking, she doesn't even reach for the thing. And I was like, oh, you pig. I take the bill, whatever it is, $100 or something, and I pay it. And that's my mental note, like, like Cologero in The Bronx Tale, where if the girl don't open the thing, for him to get inside the car, then he's like, no, she's no good. So I'm like, okay, same shit. Well, here's the deal, bro. Like, if you don't even, I'm going to pay. But at least make, like, an attempt, especially first date. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be like, hey, listen, if I'm paying, then we're going home and I'm fucking slinging, the hammer. Greg the Hammer Valentine freaking style. Like, no. I don't even put that energy out, to be honest. I'm a little bit like a snake in the grass when it comes to that. But that's another, that's down the line. Anyway, yeah, so she didn't even reach for the freaking bill. And I was like, dude, this is a 100%. I am not taking you out again. Because if you're not even going to attempt to reach for the bill, to have me be like, no, please, I got it, please, thank you, Like, if you're not even going to give me that kind of opportunity, then you know what? Like, bro, no way. No way. You know? So what did we do? After the meal, we went for a walk. And, like, because I didn't want to just leave the restaurant after I kept inviting her for the walk, you know, just to kind of, like, you know, I don't even know. Maybe I thought it was the right thing to do because I already said it. Instead of being like, nah, you know what? I ain't going to walk with you, you know? Or be like, oh, I'm going to run to the bathroom and then run away. No, I wasn't going to do that. This was so long ago that this happened. Anyway, so we'll go for the walk. All right, then have a nice night. I didn't kiss her, nothing. She goes home, whatever. My boy, I speak to him the next day, and I told him, I was like, bro, no. He's like, oh, man, give her a chance, you know. He's like, you know, I think you guys will make a great match, right? And whatever. And this is nice because my boy has very high, I wouldn't say expectations. You know, he has a lot of admiration for me. He does. He has a lot of admiration for me as a human, as an intellectual, even though I don't really claim to be, and I'm working on that. But yeah, and, you know, this was an intellectual person, you know, a bookworm, annoyed, you know, which, you know, I try to impress upon my kids. But, of course, they don't listen. I'm like, bro, you want to be the nerd. You want to be the nerd and you want to go after the bag. That's what you want to do, bro. If you go after the shmoney and do it with, like, smart shit, not with, like, cutting corner stuff, then you will have your pick of the litter when it's time to have a mate. And that is the truth. When people are like, oh, rich guys get all the freaking girl, like, whatever, then that is true. And there are plenty of beautiful people, like inside and outside, that are not, you know, bro, I don't know. Like, okay, so like if a girl's making a list, a woman is making a list of guys that she wants to date, on top of that list is not going to be like somebody struggling financially. No way. Maybe they're not humble enough at the top of the list to be like shmoney. But I'm sure they'll say, oh, I want somebody who's financially secure. That means I want somebody who's going to pay for shit. Pay for shit. You know? Pay for shit. And is willing to pay for shit. So, like, that was like, and the thing was, like, you know, yeah, at the time, I didn't really have any money. I mean, I turned into somebody that is doing okay now. But at the time, I had already, yeah, I don't know what I was doing for work at that time, but I really wasn't making a lot of money. And, but, you know, nothing was going to stop me as far as that goes, making the money part. The only thing that stops me is me and the limitations that I place on myself. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so that girl was like, whatever. And I believed that. There was one chick I dated, and I think I've said this on another show, and I'm sorry if I did. But yeah, one chick I dated also who was like very upfront, you know, and she was just like, listen, first date, it was the first Jewish girl I ever went out with, and I only went on one date with her. And she was cool, man. She was like a cool, what do you call it? I don't know. She was like a cool ass, you know, if you want to be crass, you're going to say she's a cool ass, she's a Jew broad. But she was fucking cool, and she was smart, and whatever, and she was attractive. But she told me on the first date, look, this is how old we are. I forgot, I was maybe 29 or 30, I don't know. She's like, I'm looking to get married and have kids within 2 years. And I just, like, my jaw dropped. On the first freaking date. She knew what she wanted. You know, and I was like, she's like, what do you think? I was like, well, I was overwhelmed with the fucking, you know, whatever. And with the moment, I was overwhelmed. And it was more like, how do I get out of here for 200, Alex, you know? But I impulsively just responded with, well, right now I'm just thinking about this steak that I'm eating, you know? And that wasn't the right answer. And that was the last date too. Another friend that tried to set me up. That was so funny. And, you know, people, I guess they meant well, you know? And I don't know. You know, maybe they didn't think I could find something on my own. Who knows? And then when I spoke to her like a day or two later, she's like, listen, I had a great time with you. You were a gentleman. You didn't try to jump all over me. You're very fucking hot and all this other stuff. And I was like, wow, I was so happy she paid me that. That compliment was worth the date, just for some chick to tell you you're hot. Or maybe she's just telling me that right before she lets me down. And she's like, yeah, but, you know, I was really serious about what I said about having kids and being married within 2 years. So I need somebody who's down to do that, you know, so it's not going to work out between us. And I respected that. But it was like gangster, you know. It really was. And I was like, yeah, man, okay. You know. So then you meet you meet whoever you're going to meet, and then you meet the next person, the next person, the next person. You know, and after a while, you know, I don't like to seem like scorned. I'm not scorned. But, you know, there's guys or men that now understand the game, you know. So now they, you know, they're out there, protect yourself at all times, right? They know the jig is up. They know that, like, yeah, this girl's going to put on her best show for however long, and then eventually she's just going to have me fucking running errands and doing shit and fucking paying for everything and fucking just, you know, making my life miserable. And then maybe I'll be attached with these kids and a mortgage and whatever. And then the guy goes down in flames. That little thing, that flicker that made him like a man, you know, after a while he just complies and it just goes away. And then he's like, what do I do? This is my life, you know? And then he starts to reevaluate where he is. And he says to himself, all right, I'm over the limit. And what is it going to cost for my freedom? What is it going to cost? Am I willing to suffer for the rest of my life, hoping and praying that my lady gets her act together, in the sense of, like, can we just, like, split some of the accountability? Is that even possible? You ask any man walking this earth, if he has a woman that apologizes to him, he will instinctively laugh. Like, ha ha ha, what are you saying? The moon is made out of cheese or something? Is that what you're saying? Woman saying she's sorry. The point is not to anger the beast. Because what happens when that happens? Right? When that happens, all of a sudden, the naked interactions start to fucking become more and more infrequent. And then you find yourself groveling, submitting, so that way even you can just get laid by your own freaking partner, you know, and you put up with more and more shit, scared that, you know, if you don't comply, then, like, you know, it's almost like guys are, you know, maybe they're not all the same. I don't know. But it's like, how do I fix it so I can have meals prepped on a consistent basis, sex with my person on a consistent basis, and yeah, that, and not spend us into the ground, or or just like be present, or we can do shit together, hang out together, have a good time. I think this past week, like I had a free day, and I went and I did errands with my girl. What did we do? We did something. I don't know. Whatever. Driving around. I had to do one thing, another thing. She had to do something. We just had like a free day. I have like a lot of free days during the week. On the weekends, it's not always the same. So I got some shit I got to make up and this and that or whatever. But during the week, at 2 or 3 days, I can just fucking do whatever I want to some degrees once everything is up and running appropriately. Right? So, that's the fucking deal. So in the middle of the afternoon, we went to Layla Jones Pizzeria. So if you are in Brooklyn and you want to get good slices of pizza even by yourself, bro, I do Layla Jones probably a couple of days a month. And I thank, Anthonich for putting me on. But it's right there in Court Street. And it's nothing fancy, but just, square pieces, regular, very, very good pizza. That's what it is. Very good. So we did that, and then we went and watched the Bob's Burgers movie on a whim. We're just like, oh, here's the movie theater. Oh, we're like, yeah, remember when we first started dating? We went here, we saw this, we did that. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, you want to go see a movie right now? Let's go right now. She's like, yeah. We sat in the theater, not on our phones, and we watched the Bob's Burger movie, which, spoiler alert, has fucking singing in it, which makes the movie a big fat 0. And we had a good time. We spent the whole day together. And that's nice that I can do that, without wanting to assassinate myself, or without looking for ways to, all right, yeah, I did that. Now let me go do my other thing. There's, I have a lot of freedom, and I take a lot of freedom, because if I don't, then I'm going to be resentful. And I'm not resentful more than normal. Like, you think about what your life could be like without these responsibilities for like an hour or two, and it sounds incredible. But then going home to an empty house every day is going to wear off after a week. And then I'll start looking for things that are not very healthy and that kind of stuff. So, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. And then eventually you just, you thank your lucky stars if you have somebody who's been supportive of you doing that, And now my girl doesn't pay half of the bills or whatever. Whatever money she makes, she's allowed to spend however she pleases. And then sometimes we got to make up for that at the end of the year. And that's okay. She's got her hands full with these 2 kids that are in my house. They both require all of her attention. Otherwise, it'll really be unglued. And that's the truth. So, in order for her to be home with the kids, I got to do a bunch of other stuff to make the money so that way that can happen. you know, that way that could happen. But it's not transactional, you know. And I have to be honest, when I first met her, I thought everything was transactional. And in some ways, it is. But it's transactional out of respect. Like, I'm not going to let you disrespect me, you know. Like, my girl doesn't, and I do some pretty dumb shit. And I say some pretty dumb shit. But she's not going to be like, you're a fucking dick. Like, she doesn't talk to me like that. You know, I would be laughingly appalled. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then it would turn into something else. Yeah, she don't talk to me like that. I don't talk to her like that. In a disrespectful manner. It doesn't mean that I can't be snarky and whatever. But, like, you know, I can say, yo, these things are bothering me. And kind of do with that information what you wish. But I'm letting you know that this is a problem. That I don't like this, you know. And I don't like that. And I'm growing increasingly uncomfortable with some of the things that's a goings on. And, yeah. She... you know, she used to hold that kind of stuff inside, and then she does the same. And she says, yeah, like I remember I worked a couple of really late nights back to back to back where I was, you know, here working, doing my shit, going to meeting, going to gym, come back to work, recording episodes. And it was a lot of, it was a lot of that. And it wasn't a lot of it, but it was a lot for 1 week where, like, I wasn't around until like 9 o'clock at night for like 2 or 3 nights in a row. And she wrote right away, listen, we got to have a talk. And I was like, okay. That's when I knew, like, it was on. And then she was like, think, you know, you just coming here to sleep? Or what the fuck? You know? And right or wrong or whatever, it's her perspective. She's allowed. She's right. And I said, okay. I said, do you want me to schedule specific days where I do podcast stuff? You know? She's like, yeah. She's like, I knew you were doing this for yourself, but now you're like really taken away and whatever. So I was like, yeah, do you want me? I was like, I understand. I said, do you want me to set specific days where I do the recordings? She's like, yes. I said, all right, so we'll do it on those days. You know, and that's it. So I'm going to try and keep up that schedule with her as best I can. But, you know, she doesn't have to put her foot down for anything except for my attitude. Not so much the shit that I do, because I just come home and most of the work is already done. You know, I have incredible meals almost every day. And we get to spend a couple of hours a night together. She handles the kid, the little one's homework with her because she needs extra help. And that's it, you know. So right now is all good, you know. And I'm sincerely invested in her happiness, you know. I went down a laundry list the other day about that, you know, about her happiness. Like, bro, like these are the ways that I have invested in your happiness. A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, whatever. I don't have to go through a list, but I've done a lot, you know, and I was very honest about that. So, I want you to be happy, period. And I know I'm not responsible for that, but these are the ways in which I'm trying to help you achieve that goal, you know, and it doesn't need to be acknowledged, but I don't ever want to hear no shit like I'm standing in your way and you want to do this thing, and then now I'm like taking it away from you or whatever. Like that's not what's happening, you know, at all. So anyway, yeah, these roles, I don't know, man. We got to learn you got to learn about what's important in your life, you know. you know, it's almost like, you know, even, and then you got to pay what you owe. Look, if for some reason I was saying to myself, like, listen, I don't want to be with this woman anymore and this, that, and the third and whatever, bro, I would still take care of those kids because I love them, number one. Number two, I've been raising them since, you know, for the past 8 or 10 years or whatever, 8 or 9 years. Like, I've been raising them. So what? I'm supposed to be the stepdad that fucking bails? I would never do that. You know, I don't really have that in me. And that's like the kind of responsibility that I take for those things, you know, and that responsibility and my responsibility to other people to whom I'm accountable. And that is one of the reasons why I don't understand this guy not paying for the ticket for his chick. You know, I'm like, dude, then that's not your chick and that's okay. You're young, 25, bro. You couldn't, you know, it'd be hard to nail me down. Even though part of, sorry again, even though part of me wanted to be nailed down, but, you know, just like kind of in theory where you want to have all the roses, but you don't want to have none of the weeds. And that's not really realistic. I don't want to be one of these guys who's like in his like 60s or whatever and be like, fuck, I don't want to spend the next 20 years with this fucking person. I want to spend my last 20 doing what the fuck I want. You know, and right now, I'm doing what the fuck I want most of the time. Or at least I'm living by my own rules where I don't have a lot of overhead with people barking at me. I can't even imagine if I had a boss. Sometimes I wish I had a regular job where I just had to show up every day and then somebody would pay me something. But then guess what? I would have to show up every day. And I don't know if I'm down for that. So keep me in your prayers. I'll keep you in my prayers, thoughts and prayers. I figured I'd end with a song. I'm gonna play a song. Hopefully they don't take us off of whatever, YouTube or whatever. And I hope you guys like it. And you know, I haven't gotten any negative feedback from like the songs. And you know, and this is just some of the shit that I listen to and I enjoy. And this is I took my little boo months ago to go see this gentleman, and they were awesome. And there was a small thing, and the guy was a superhero to me, but you know the crowd was light because they didn't really know the guy, and I was happy. It was so bizarre, but anyway, they were great with me, great with my kid. This is Eddie 9 Volt, Lo-Fi Love. You hear that soul, baby? Woo! Some days, baby, spiritual experience. I ain't the best example of a man. Jay Lewis, Brooklyn, New York. You better watch your tone. This time next week, you might find yourself alone. I can't stand your lo-fi love. Listen, baby, you like the record that just won't play. Yeah. When you give me that lo-fi love. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the flip side. You know the deal, spiritual experience. Spotify, Apple, everywhere. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Even if you are sharing to talk shit or whatever, and be like, listen to this crazy guy. We could use all the support. And, yeah, we love you. Peace. Man, I'm in love right now. You hear that? Simplicity. Woo! Okay, everybody, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the Spiritual Experience. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Pandora, everywhere. And please find us on Facebook where you can become part of our family. We'll see you around.